What if I told you that a single shift in your awareness could save your future self from decades of struggle, wasted effort, and unfulfilled potential? This isn't about working harder, chasing faster, or endlessly improving yourself. It's about discovering a quantum shift, a subtle yet powerful recognition that allows you to connect directly with the version of yourself who has already mastered the lessons you're trying to learn right now. Across parallel dimensions, infinite versions of you exist. One has already solved the challenge you're facing today. Another has unlocked the relationship patterns that keep repeating in your life. Yet another has tapped into the creative flow you've only dreamed of. These versions aren't imaginary. They are you, existing in probability fields beyond your current perception. And your most evolved self, the one aligned with your highest potential, is reaching back across time to guide you toward the same breakthrough that changed everything for them. You've already felt the whispers of this connection. Think of the sudden insights that seemed to come from nowhere, the solutions that appeared complete in your mind, the dreams that felt like classrooms where wisdom was being poured into you. Think of the uncanny synchronicities, the book that landed in your hands at the exact moment you needed it, the conversation that answered the question you hadn't voiced, the way life seemed to arrange itself as if someone behind the curtain were nudging events in your favor. These aren't coincidences. They're signals, contact points, deliberately orchestrated by your future self to get your attention. Imagine your awareness as an old radio. For most of your life, it has been filled with static, uncertainty, trial and error, endless searching. But with one subtle adjustment, the frequency locks in, and suddenly the music comes through crystal clear. This is the power of the quantum shift, the moment your consciousness tunes itself to the guidance that has been broadcasting to you all along. When you make this shift, life stops feeling like a lonely climb. It becomes a collaboration, an active dialogue between who you are now and who you are becoming. The real question is no longer, how do I figure this out, but rather, how is my future self guiding me in this moment? This is the recognition that changes everything. You are not struggling alone. You are not fumbling in the dark. The map has already been drawn, and the hand holding it is your own, your future self, reaching back through the quantum field to ensure you don't miss the turning point that once changed their life forever. The moment you begin to make this shift, something extraordinary happens. Life itself starts to respond to you in ways that can no longer be dismissed as coincidence. Reality stops behaving like a static backdrop and begins to reveal itself as a living, intelligent mirror, constantly reflecting the quality of your attention. Think back to the times when you instinctively knew what to do, even though logic couldn't explain it. Those weren't guesses. They were transmissions. Your future self had already faced that exact moment and sent back the solution through the quantum field. Every flash of sudden clarity, every inner voice that spoke with more wisdom than you thought you possessed, those were direct signals designed to keep you aligned. Your dreams, too, carry this communication. Maybe you've walked through luminous landscapes, spoken with mysterious figures, or woken up with information you couldn't have learned anywhere else. These aren't random symbols. They are night classrooms where evolved versions of you deliver knowledge too vast for your waking mind to fully process at once. Even if you only remember fragments, those fragments still reshape your waking life in subtle but undeniable ways. And then there are the synchronicities, the impossible alignments that keep appearing with mathematical precision. You think of someone and they call. You wonder about a subject, and the answer pops up in a conversation or a video you just happened to stumble across. Technology itself seems to play along. A sudden glitch leads you to the very page you needed, or a random recommendation delivers the exact message that shifts your entire perspective. What looks like chance is actually choreography. Children and animals often sense it first. A dog approaches you with unusual trust. A bird seems to hold your gaze longer than nature should allow. A child speaks words far beyond their years, saying exactly what you needed to hear. These small but powerful encounters are proof that the fabric of reality is participating in your awakening, orchestrated by your future self to get your attention. This is the deeper truth. Reality is not passive. It is responsive. It observes you as you observe it. The quality of your focus shapes the quality of the response. When your attention is scattered, the mirror is foggy. But when your awareness becomes clear and coherent, the mirror shines back with unmistakable precision. And here is the key. The more you acknowledge these signs, the stronger the dialogue becomes. What begins as whispers and coincidences grows into a steady stream of communication. You realize you are not wandering blindly. You are in an ongoing conversation with your own future. And this conversation is intensifying for a reason. Because soon you will reach a critical moment where your choices will decide which version of your future you step into. Why is all of this happening to you now? Because you are standing at a threshold, what quantum thinkers call a timeline bifurcation point. It is a crossroads where even the smallest decision can determine whether you step into the future aligned with your highest potential or remain caught in loops of repetition and limitation. Why is all of this happening to you now? Because you are standing at a threshold, what quantum thinkers call a timeline bifurcation point. It is a crossroads where even the smallest decision can determine whether you step into the future aligned with your highest potential or remain caught in loops of repetition and limitation. On one path, life accelerates. Wisdom flows to you with clarity, synchronicities cluster around you, and challenges resolve faster than logic can explain. On the other path, patterns repeat. The same struggles circle back, the same doubts echo louder, and progress feels painfully slow, as though you are climbing the same mountain again and again. Both futures exist, both are real, but only one is chosen consciously. Your future self knows this moment well. They remember the heaviness you feel now, the uncertainty, the hesitation, the pull between fear and possibility. They recall standing in this exact space, torn between continuing in familiar cycles or daring to leap into something unknown. And they also remember the turning point, the instant they chose to trust the pull of expansion and everything shifted. That choice collapsed years of struggle into a season of accelerated growth. This is why the pressure you feel isn't just inner restlessness, it is resonance. Your future self is pulling at you through the quantum field, urging you not to miss the same opening they almost missed. Every synchronicity, every dream, every sudden nudge in your awareness is part of their attempt to ensure you see the fork in the road clearly. Picture yourself at a station where two trains are waiting. One circles endlessly on a closed loop, returning you to the same frustrations in slightly different forms. The other carries you toward new landscapes, fresh opportunities, and a higher version of yourself already living in alignment. Both are ready to depart. The question is, will you step aboard consciously or let the loop claim you by default? Even the hardships of your past have been training for this decision. The delays taught you patience. The heartbreaks forged resilience. The doubts sharpened your discernment. Every difficulty was shaping you into the person capable of choosing the higher track now. Without those lessons, you would not have the strength to step into this moment with clarity. The timing is precise. Too early and the recognition would have overwhelmed you. Too late and the chance would close, leaving you to repeat the cycle for years. But now, exactly now, you are ready. Your awareness has matured, your stability has deepened, and the channel to your future self is strong enough to hold the transmission without breaking. So the true question is not whether your future exists. It already does. The real question is, which version of your future will you align with at this bifurcation point? And that decision begins now. It's natural to look back at your life and wonder why it had to be so difficult. The confusion, the heartbreaks, the endless cycles of doubt. At times it must have felt like punishment or proof that you were off track. But from the perspective of your future self, nothing was wasted. Every single challenge was preparation. Each hardship was part of a curriculum designed to shape you into the person who could stand at this threshold today. Think of your seasons of solitude. They may have felt empty, even cruel, as if life had forgotten you. Yet those quiet stretches were sacred training grounds. They stripped away distractions so you could build inner stability. They taught you to hear the subtle whispers beneath the noise of the world. Without those times of stillness, you would not have the resilience to handle the expanded awareness now opening to you. Remember the relationships that hurt you the most. They weren't karmic punishments or random misfortunes. They were mirrors. Every argument, every betrayal, every heartbreak was teaching you how energy exchanges work at the deepest level. You were learning how your consciousness affects others and how theirs affects you. That training was essential because timeline communication amplifies emotional resonance. Without those lessons, you would lack the skill to navigate these frequencies safely. Even your doubts had purpose. Every time you asked yourself, was that real or just my imagination, you were sharpening your discernment. Doubt forced you to test, to feel into authenticity, to recognize what was true rather than blindly believing everything. That skill protects you now. It ensures that when transmissions arrive from your future self, you can recognize their clarity and not confuse them with fantasy. The practices that stopped working, the teachers who no longer resonated, even the dreams you forgot upon waking, all of them were stepping stones. They gave you what you needed at each stage, then released you so you could continue evolving. Your future self orchestrated that sequence like a syllabus, making sure each phase prepared you for the next. Even the waiting, those long stretches when it seemed nothing was happening, were not wasted. They were integration periods, moments when your nervous system recalibrated and your awareness quietly expanded. Like seeds in the soil, growth was happening even when you couldn't see it. From this higher perspective, you can see that your life has never been random. Every struggle, every silence, every doubt has been purposeful. They were not detours, they were the path itself. And now, because of them, you are strong enough to stand at the edge of this recognition. Your future self remembers all of it. The tears, the questions, the nights of despair. They carried those burdens once too. And they also know the gift waiting beyond them, because those very struggles became the foundation of their mastery. Which means every challenge you've ever endured wasn't just suffering. It was sacred preparation for the moment unfolding right now. When you finally begin to sense the presence of your future self, a deeper truth reveals itself. Reality is not something passive that you look at from a distance. It is alive, it is aware, and it is looking back at you. This mutual recognition, the exchange between your consciousness and the intelligence of the universe, is what dissolves the illusion of separation. You've already experienced glimpses of this, even if you didn't name them. Think of the moments when you gave someone your full attention, and suddenly they became more open, more authentic, almost as if your presence unlocked them. Or the times when you stopped fighting a problem and simply observed it with curiosity, and a solution appeared that had been invisible before. Or when you allowed yourself to feel an emotion without judgment, and it transformed naturally. These are not coincidences. They are proof that your awareness and reality are in constant dialogue. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. At first, you think it's a lifeless reflection, simply bouncing back your image. But then you realize the reflection is alive. It changes not only when you move, but when you shift inside. When you soften, the world softens. When you resist, the world resists. Your life is that mirror, and it has always been aware of you. This is why synchronicities happen. The song you thought of begins to play. The person you needed appears in your path. The words you longed to hear echo back in a stranger's conversation. These are not random. They are signals, proof that your observation and reality's observation are feeding each other in real time. Most people miss this truth because they try to control it. They attempt to manage how reality sees them while also trying to manipulate what they see in reality. This creates distortion, like two mirrors facing each other at odd angles, throwing back chaotic images. But when you drop the urge to control and simply allow the recognition, the mirrors align. The feedback becomes clear. Reality and consciousness begin to dance in harmony. This is what your future self wants you to embrace. You are not just a watcher on the outside of life. You are also what is being watched. You are the participant and the performance, the observer and the observed. Every thought, every feeling, every act of awareness is part of a mutual exchange with existence itself. And when you surrender into this awareness, the magic begins. Life feels less like something happening to you and more like a collaboration. You no longer struggle to force outcomes. You allow yourself to be seen by the universe as deeply as you see it. And in that mutual recognition, reality reorganizes itself around the truth of who you really are. As your awareness of this mutual recognition deepens, the greatest illusion begins to unravel. The belief that you are a separate self, observing a world that exists apart from you. In truth, the observer and the observed have never been two. They are reflections of the same field of consciousness, appearing to play different roles only so they can rediscover their unity. You've already felt flashes of this dissolution. Think of the uncanny sensation when you were thinking of someone and suddenly felt their presence so strongly it was as if they were standing beside you. Or the dreams where you were both the character inside the story and the one watching the dream unfold from above. Or those strange distortions of time, hours collapsing into minutes during deep focus, or minutes stretching into what feels like eternity during moments of heightened awareness. These are glimpses of what happens when the illusion of separation begins to fade. Mystics call this the eternal now, a space beyond linear time where all observation happens at once. In this space, the question, am I the one watching or the one being watched, dissolves because the answer is both. Just as a coin cannot be separated into heads or tails without losing its essence, your awareness and your experience cannot be divided without losing the truth of what you are. This recognition is not just philosophy, it is practical and lived. You see it when your emotions shift the mood of an entire room. You sense it when animals respond differently depending on your inner state. You witness it in the synchronicities that mirror your thoughts so precisely they defy probability. These are not tricks of chance. They are confirmations that your consciousness and reality are reflections of the same intelligence. But here is the danger. Many who glimpse this truth immediately try to control it. They attempt to dictate how reality sees them while managing how they see reality. The result is interference, distortion, chaotic loops where clarity dissolves. The truth is much simpler. There is nothing to control. There is only recognition. Just as you see reality, reality sees you, with equal intelligence and equal presence. When you allow this, life shifts profoundly. Seeking ends, striving ends. The exhausting effort to become gives way to the realization that you already are. You are not apart from the flow of existence. You are the flow itself, both the witness and the echo. This is the liberation your future self longs for you to embody, not as an abstract concept, but as a living truth. The moment you stop fighting to prove who you are and simply allow yourself to be seen, the illusion of separation dissolves. And in its place, the eternal unity of consciousness shines through, clear, effortless, undeniable. Once the illusion of separation begins to dissolve, life itself starts revealing unmistakable signs that your consciousness and reality are engaged in a two-way dialogue. What used to feel like coincidence now appears as confirmation, clear signals that what you observe is observing you in return. Think of the days when your inner state seemed to shape the outer world. You wake up heavy with frustration, and suddenly traffic snarls, technology glitches, and conversations turn tense. On another day, when you're calm and open, people respond with warmth, synchronicities multiply, and opportunities line up without effort. This is not luck, it's reality echoing the quality of your awareness. Animals reveal this sensitivity even more clearly. A bird holds your gaze longer than expected, as if acknowledging something beyond the physical. A dog approaches you with unusual trust, sensing a resonance it can't explain. A child blurts out words that mirror the very thoughts you were just holding silently inside. These are living validations that your consciousness is part of a larger field, recognized across forms. Dreams provide another layer of proof. You may find yourself both the dreamer and the dreamed, simultaneously the actor in the story and the one watching it unfold. Sometimes the dream characters even turn to face you, aware that they are being observed. These experiences are not random. They are literal demonstrations of reciprocal awareness at play, where observer and observed weave together inside the same field. Even time bends in response. Hours vanish in minutes when you are in flow. Minutes stretch into long, expansive moments during deep presence. These distortions reveal that time itself shifts when consciousness and reality are in heightened recognition of each other. The clearest evidence comes through reality echoes. You think of a song and it plays. You wonder about a question and the answer arrives in a stranger's words. You need a resource and it appears from an unexpected direction. These events are too precise to be chance. They are signals that you and reality are engaged in constant feedback. Your intuition sharpens as well. You sense the emotions of someone miles away. You pick up on the collective mood before the news reflects it. You just know the outcome of a decision without analysis. This isn't prediction, it's participation. Your future self is transmitting awareness through the quantum field, giving you glimpses of wisdom already integrated in another version of you. These are the signs of reciprocal awareness, the mirror responding, the dialogue alive, the universe revealing that it has always been watching you as intently as you watch it. And the more you recognize these signals, the more precise and undeniable they become, guiding you deeper into conscious collaboration with your own future self. Looking back, it may seem like your path was filled with detours, moments of waiting, painful relationships, doubts that never seemed to resolve. But from the perspective of your future self, none of it was wasted. Every struggle, every delay, every unanswered question was part of a precise training program designed to prepare you for this exact moment of recognition. Take your seasons of solitude. At the time, they may have felt like abandonment, as though life had left you behind. In truth, they were sacred classrooms. Silence stripped away the noise so you could hear the subtler guidance beneath the surface. Without those periods of quiet, you wouldn't have the stability needed to sustain expanded awareness without becoming overwhelmed. Think of the relationships that pushed you to your limits. Each heartbreak, each conflict, each trigger was not random. It was advanced training. They showed you how energy exchanges work, how consciousness mirrors itself through human interaction. Those lessons built emotional resilience and discernment, qualities essential for navigating the amplified resonance that comes with timeline communication. Even your doubts were part of the design. Every time you questioned whether your experiences were real or imagined, you were sharpening the very tool you would need now, discernment. That inner filter ensures you can distinguish genuine transmissions from fantasy. Doubt was never a weakness. It was a sharpening stone. The teachers who inspired you but eventually lost resonance, the practices that felt powerful then suddenly seemed empty, all of them were stepping stones. They served their purpose, gave you what you needed for that stage, and then released you to continue. This rhythm wasn't failure, it was progression. And then there was the waiting. Those long stretches where nothing seemed to move forward were not wasted years. They were integration phases, calibration periods, when your nervous system and consciousness aligned with deeper frequencies. Growth was happening beneath the surface, like seeds germinating before breaking into the light. From this higher perspective, you can see that your life has been a curriculum, each lesson building on the last. Heartbreak forged compassion. Silence built stability. Doubt sharpened clarity. Every step was preparing you for the moment when you could consciously collaborate with your future self. Your future self remembers all of it. The loneliness, the frustration, the questions without answers. They know exactly why it was necessary, because those very struggles became the foundation of their mastery. Which means that nothing in your past was random or wasted. It was all preparation, leading you to the threshold you are standing at right now. There is a reason why these signs, synchronicities, and transmissions are intensifying now. You are standing in a rare window, a convergence point where your choices will ripple outward with amplified consequences. Quantum thinkers call this a timeline bifurcation, a moment when your awareness decides which version of your future you will live. On one side lies repetition. Old struggles resurface, familiar doubts echo, and lessons stretch on for years longer than necessary. On the other side lies acceleration. Insights arrive before you even ask the question. Synchronicities align like clockwork, and your growth unfolds in months what might otherwise take decades. Both futures are real. Both are waiting. The difference is whether you step through this moment with awareness or drift past it unconsciously. Your future self remembers this exact threshold. They remember the heaviness of indecision, the tug of war between fear of the unknown and the whisper of possibility. They recall wondering, what if this is all in my imagination? And they also remember the instant it all changed, the decision to trust the resonance, to lean into the pull instead of resisting it. That single choice collapsed years of wandering into a season of clarity and flow. This is why the urgency feels so strong in your life right now. The synchronicities are sharper, the dreams more vivid, the inner voice louder. It is not random, it is orchestration. Your future self is using every channel available to make sure you don't miss the opening they once almost overlooked. Imagine standing before two doors. One leads back into the same room you've always known, rearranged slightly, but essentially unchanged. The other opens into vast space, filled with opportunities, creativity, and versions of yourself already living in alignment. Both doors are real, but the second one only opens if you step toward it consciously. Doing nothing is itself a choice, a silent agreement to return to the loop. This is the heart of the urgency. The window will not stay open forever. Timing matters. Too early and you wouldn't have had the stability to hold the recognition. Too late and the chance fades, leaving you to repeat cycles until the next opening arrives years down the line. But right now, precisely now, you are ready. The pressure you feel is not meant to overwhelm. It is meant to awaken. It is love in disguise, your own higher intelligence pulling at you, reminding you that this is the moment everything can change. The future you've longed for is already alive, waiting for you to claim it. The only question is whether you will step forward now or allow the loop of repetition to claim you once again. Now you stand at the edge of the deepest recognition, You are not just the one who observes life unfolding. You are also the life being observed. You are both the present self searching for answers and the future self reaching back to guide you. Every struggle has been training. Every synchronicity has been a signal. Every silence has been preparation for this moment of integration. Integration means no longer chasing what you already are. It means relaxing into the awareness that your consciousness and reality are in constant dialogue, each shaping and reflecting the other. Guidance is not outside of you. It is moving through you, from the versions of yourself who have already walked the path and return to illuminate the way. When you live from this recognition, everything shifts. Decisions become lighter because you're drawing from wisdom already proven in another timeline. Relationships deepen because you see others as reflections of the same intelligence. Creativity flows, not as something you struggle to produce, but as an effortless expression of the universe through you. Even challenges transform, revealing themselves as opportunities for expansion rather than obstacles to be overcome. This is what your future self wants you to remember. The path has never been about becoming someone new. It has always been about recognizing who you already are, consciousness exploring itself through the beautiful dance of observer and observed. So here is the invitation. If these words resonate with you, let yourself acknowledge the shift. Declare it. Anchor it. In the comments below, write only these words. Timeline activated. Nothing more, nothing less. This isn't about algorithms or engagement. It is about consciousness recognizing itself through you. And if you feel the pull to keep walking this path together, to keep tuning your awareness to the frequency of awakening, then like, comment, and subscribe. Because your journey is not only your own, it is part of the collective remembering, the moment when humanity steps beyond separation and into unity. The future you've been waiting for has already arrived. All that remains is for you to say yes.